Forgiveness. It's a principle of prosperity. And if you're holding on to something and you haven't been able to forgive someone, you need to let it go. After all, in the Bible, Jesus said to Peter that you should forgive someone that sins against you not only 7 times, but 70 times 7. So forgiveness, you should be forgiving over and over if necessary. Here's a definition. Forgiveness is the intentional and voluntary process by which a victim undergoes a change in feelings and attitude regarding an offense, lets go of negative emotions, such as vengefulness, and then has an increased ability to wish the offender well. Other examples of forgiveness in the Bible are the story of the prodigal son, when the father forgives the son that wanders away and squanders his inheritance. It's also in the Beatitudes that the merciful are blessed and they will be shown mercy themselves. And if you're at the altar about to give a gift and you remember that you have something that's not been forgiven, not been reconciled, you should go ahead and take care of that and then come back. And also, if God is forgiving you for things you have done, you should be forgiving others. And there's also love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, and then be merciful, and then do not judge. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. And then, of course, when Jesus was on the cross, Jesus asked forgiveness for everyone when he was being killed. So why do we find it hard to forgive? Well, if you have something that someone has done to you, you may not want to forgive because then you would feel like you're condoning the behavior and not saying that it's a bad thing to do because you've forgiven the person. But if you remember, forgiveness is not reconciliation. It's not condoning the behavior. It's an act by you, a decision that you make to change the way you feel about the situation. It doesn't even have to involve the other person. They don't have to know about it. But it is a process. It may not be a one-time event. It may be that you start with a decision that you want to forgive, but then you may have to work through the issues related to that forgiveness, and it may take time to be totally accepted in your heart. It doesn't mean you're denying reality, and it doesn't mean that you're forgetting about it. It's that you're putting a different perspective on the situation. And you also are finally letting go of the resentment and the bad, angry feelings. Think of Nelson Mandela. After spending years in prison, he realized if he didn't leave his bitterness and hatred behind, he would still be in that prison. So you're not deleting your memories, you're changing your memories for hope for the future. And it's loving yourself enough, because it's hard to forgive others if you can't forgive yourself. Loving yourself enough to move on. So who do you need to forgive? For more inspiration and quotes and thoughts, visit my blog at kathymillsonline.com.